John Pollock here, getting set for UFC 206 on Saturday night. It will be a middleweight bout involving Tim Kennedy and our guest at this time, Kelvin Gastelum. And Kelvin, can you summarize the last 30 days for yourself? It's never boring.
Never boring. It's been rough, man. It's been rough in many ways, in many aspects of my life. It's been rough, but man, I fought through and I'm here now competing. I'm just happy to be competing and happy to be here competing in the UFC.
You know, with everything that happened in New York and having such a quick turnaround, do you feel this was almost a test for you mentally to see how much can be thrown at me and how I can perform at the elite level this Saturday night with someone like Tim Kennedy?
Oh, man, I've been tested so many times in the last few weeks. You know, this has been a huge test. This has been a huge struggle for me to go through. Has been a huge headache, emotionally, physically, mentally. You know, it's affected many aspects in my personal life and outside of my personal life. Like, a lot of things went wrong, you know, not just the weight cut. You know, it's been a headache, but I'm here now, and I'm trying to stay positive, and I'm trying to focus on the positive and focus on Kennedy and get my hand raised on Saturday night.
Was it an option for you to maybe take some more time to kind of let everything settle before you took another fight, or was it important to get back into the octagon immediately?
It was important for me to get back immediately and try and get back in the good graces with the UFC. You know, I knew they needed somebody to step up to fight Tim Kennedy, and you know, I wanted to oblige and hopefully do them a favor and come in and replace the fight and fight Kennedy.
You know, you've been in this situation before. Do you rule out the opportunity at getting back into the welterweight division? Is that where you want to be?
That's where I want to be, for sure. But I know I compete at both weight classes. I'm still undefeated at middleweight. And I know I compete with the best guys at middleweight and at welterweight. You know, other guys have been competing at two weight classes, so why can't I?
What are some of the strengths you have at middleweight? I mean, when you prepared for the Nate Marquardt fight, what were some differences just beyond just the weight cut, just things that you could go back on and that really you saw being able to be transferable from the one weight to the other? Right.
It'll be my movement and my speed. I'll be a lot faster than these bigger middleweights, and I'll be able to be more mobile than these bigger middleweights. So that's just pretty much it. That's what I noticed the most is my mobility is a lot faster than theirs.
How much do you study for a Tim Kennedy who hasn't fought in 2 years? There's a lot of unknowns with someone that's had that amount of time off.
Right. You can't. I mean, I only went back and watched his last two fights. Other than that, I don't really know much about him. Yeah, there's not really much studying that I did, but you know, either way, I'm confident in my abilities, confident in my wrestling, confident in my stand-up to know that I can compete with anybody that steps in there with me.
You know, he's probably this entire week fielding a lot of questions about the Athletes Association. Have you been following this story at all? And just kind of, if you want to share your own thoughts about this movement amongst these fighters that have now formed this Athletes Association.
Right. I mean, these guys are fighting. I mean, they're trying to do good things for the fighters and get more benefits for the fighters, which is a good thing, you know. You know, I know the bosses aren't probably too happy with it, you know. But you know, I know there's other people fighting for more benefits for the fighters, but at the same time, these guys are in it for themselves too. You know, those guys want to get a piece of the cut as well, and they're just trying to do what they're trying to. You know, they're just trying to do the best for them. You know what I mean?
When it comes to fighting in New York, attempting to fight in New York last month, we were at the weigh-ins, and it seemed like this rule that if you guys were within a specific weight, the fight could have gone on, but no one seemed to know this rule at the time. I'm assuming you didn't either, because Donald had said if he had known you were off weight, he would have made the attempt to just come in at a weight to save the fight.
Right. No, I didn't know. But at the same time, I went into fight week with the intention of making weight. You know, I knew it was going to be a rough week trying to make the weight, but at some point the body just said, nope, not this time, you know, and just kind of quit on me. But, you know, it is what it is.
Do you feel that a win on Saturday, a strong performance, it somewhat erases the last month for you to end this year on a positive and start anew in 2017?
It doesn't necessarily erase it, but it'll surely it'll benefit a lot for me, because I'll be ending the year with a good note. You know, hopefully back in the good graces with the UFC, and it's real important for me to end the year on a high note.
Well, I hope people do look back, because you did have a really strong year this year, and I think whether it's a middleweight or welterweight, I mean, you were one of the key guys I think to watch, and we wish you all the best going into Saturday.
Thank you, man. I mean, I'm just trying my best out here. I'm a normal human being just like you, but you know, I make mistakes just like everybody else, and mine just happen to be more public. So yeah, I'm just happy to be competing this Saturday, man.
Well, enjoy the city, and we'll be watching on Saturday night. It's Kelvin Gastelum and Tim Kennedy coming up at UFC 206 Saturday night in Toronto.